G'day, Mike from Aussie Mike's Bees, and this little episode's about a device you've probably heard me talking about, the Everything Bee Vac that I use for doing cutouts and some hard to get swarms. I've just taken delivery of my next one, the Generation 2.5. Now I got the Generation 2 2 seasons ago in 2019. And I've loved it. It's been fantastic, and I think you might have picked that up from the odd video. But I have knocked it around. It's done a lot of work, and I got some water in the electronics, and that sort of made it playing up a bit. So I thought, when Tony released Generation 2.5, I've got to have one. So I got it, and I've got it right here. I used it just today, and for the first time. It's fantastic. It's just so quiet. He's put in a bunch of improvements, and I'll tell you about those. First off, he's enclosed the speed control that you clip onto your jacket into a little box, which is great. And so you can control the vacuum remotely, but there's also another little control up on the bucket. So if you don't have the remote one there, you can do everything you need to on the bucket. And that's what I actually did today. He's put on this little handle. He's put a grill over the exhaust to stop bees climbing in. If you get a queen inside the bucket, they start coming around this exhaust like crazy. It's a good signal that you've got one. Now, improvements on the inside. He's put some mesh around the motor, another terrific feature. I'll just pop that down. And he's done a double mesh for the inside for this section. Very cool design. He's got a handle on the bucket as well, which I've found quite handy. Now, something about how good the design of the Everything Bee Vac is, if ever you've made your own out of a 5-gallon bucket, you'll notice that the bees sort of have a bit of a hard time on the inside. They pool up in the bottom because the walls are really slippery. Tony's put in this chicken mesh on the inside, and that works a treat. The bees climb up there and cluster high. They'll also cluster on the underside of this if you're using it in vertical mode. And it gets it out of the way of the incoming bees through the vacuum tube. And this is a gate that you plug your tube in. So here's your tube. And that plugs in through here. Good firm grip. Now I've got the Pro Pack that includes 2 different lengths of hose, which is great, and also 2 different sizes of the spout. I haven't got the other one with me, but it's about twice as long for the other one. But another great improvement is that it's got this swivel action that the old one didn't have, and that is on the other end as well, so you can swivel the whole pipe. And just using it today, it's so much easier. Now it comes with a backpack arrangement that makes it easier if you're up to your top of a ladder, and it's battery operated. Inside this head unit is an upgraded battery pack. The old one would last 6 hours, and I'm not sure what the lifespan of this, but more than enough to do 2 or 3 cutouts in a day on one charge. That's pretty cool. Now that's my shameless plug for Tony's Everything Bee Vac. What I want to talk about right now is transferring the bees from the bucket into the hive. Traditionally, I've just tipped them in. I give it a bit of a wrap, I pull the filter out, and then I just pick it up and shake the bees into the box. And it gets a cloud of bees everywhere. They go nuts. Most of them go in the box, which is great, but a lot of them are in the air. Not great. I thought I need to make a more gentle approach. I looked at Tony's page, and he had a video there, and in amongst the video he had a nice little description of making a gentle arrangement, which was just to get a bit of plywood cut a hole to the size of the bucket opening, like so. Now, his description was set up the box with the frames and put this on top of the box and then have another box around the top. Just give it a bounce and then loosen the filter inside it so that it would drop out. Upend the bucket onto this and then that falls down and the bees can climb down into the hive. And I was about to do that and I had a chat with Tony and he said he's come up with another plan. Fit this on top of the bucket like that, put the box with the frames on top of the plywood, and then the bees can climb up into the box. How gentle is that? So good. That's what I'm doing today. I've got a bucket full of bees that I've just collected from the lounge, and that's another video. I'll get on with that next and I'll show you the exact process for doing it. All right, we're all ready. Now I've got the baseboard set up and I won't need that until I transfer it from the bucket onto the baseboard, and that'll be tomorrow. So I'm going to leave them overnight to move into the box. Now this is the box and I've got one bit of comb, natural comb there drawn. I'm hoping that will entice them, but I've had so many swarms and cutouts that all I've got is new wax foundation. I'm going to be enticing them up into one box. I'm going to have an inner cover and lid. Set to go. So I might pop that up here so it's easier to reach. Here's the bees. Now this is pretty much how I brought them home in the car. I put it on its side because it's more stable. It's got the vent for breathing here. That's the gate that you put the vacuum hose in, but when you close it off, it's got a bunch of holes there, so there's ventilation. And this side is the mesh, and that's why they don't expire. They've got plenty of ventilation. So I'm going to just gently put them vertical, and I'm going to put our box on, our adapter, and that fits nicely there. That's all the easy part done, and I've got to get ready to do a little tap to drop them off the mesh and then pull that out and then transfer the box on there. They will start wanting to fly out straight away, so the quicker I am, the better. Alright, so I've got to get the sequence. Bounce, pull, drop, and then move this over. And they've been in here for a couple of hours now, so they'll be keen to get out. So some got out, but the bulk of them are still in there. I think that works pretty good. Alright, that went pretty smoothly. I'm happy with that. So there's a few that got out when I pulled the basket out, and I was expecting that. What I hope they will do is just gather around the vent in the bottom of the bucket, because that's where the smell of all their sisters will be and the queen. If that all works out good, we're in business. We'll continue this tomorrow. Okay, it's the next morning, October 23rd, day after my 60th birthday. We're all ready to move them now. I've just had a listen and I can hear buzzing inside. That's a good sign. So all I'm going to do now is just pick this up and move it over. I've got the baseboard there. I've put in an entrance reducer because it is a small colony. I can see a little cluster of the ones that escaped yesterday have formed on the bottom of the baseboard, and there's a couple of bees on the mesh. We'll see. It should be reasonably painless to move them straight across. There's a tiny cluster in the bottom of the bucket and a few around the top, but otherwise looks like they've all moved in. This is good news. There you go, a relatively painless way of moving the bees into the colony. Another good part of doing this is when you're vacuuming, sometimes a bit of debris can fall in, or get sucked in. That's all at the bottom. When you do an up-end version, all that debris falls into the hive as well. Just going to leave this here, and with any luck the ones inside will start nasonophing, and these ones will find their way in. There you go, the new Everything BeeVac method of transferring from the vacuum bucket into the box. Success in my view. This is Aussie Mike's Bees. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit that like button, share, maybe even subscribe if you want to, so you can keep up with what's coming. Lots in store. I've just got to find the time to shoot the videos. Beekeeping, it's an obsession.